Thank you very much. And the first one is Waihoro Spreydon-Cashmere Community Board. Welcome Carolyn Potter, thank you.
Oh, sorry. This is the photograph of the meeting that we held. Shut up, you. You have got enough on your plate at the moment.
You're not in a presidential debate now, so none of that shut up business.
This was our board meeting that was held at Addington School, and one of those two children who are presenting to us, standing up, was in the pedestrian cage outside Addington School on Brom Street when the car struck it last week. And the cage is still dented. We've asked for it to be repaired. This was the presentation about separating pedestrians, probably a tunnel underneath Brom, from Brom Street, because of the near misses and the not near misses that have occurred on that pedestrian crossing over the years. There were several people from the community in the gallery that presented on the issue at the time. We've had two meetings outside this year, and we will be having another one. The Huntsbury Community Centre will hold a meeting there in December, and we're finding it really useful to hold one of our ordinary meetings in the community. The big change that has occurred in my time in council and board meetings is the public forum, which has been wonderful for us. We have an average of 4 public forum presentations from local organisations and residents, and these are examples of some of the people who have presented to us. Andrea Webb requesting a new reserve, updates from key local organisations such as the Pawaho Heathcote River Network Trust, which is an extraordinarily valuable organisation in our area in terms of the Pawaho River. Suburbs Rugby and the Crossover Trust, which has just acquired camping grounds directly opposite Spencer Park, where they have cabins and tent sites in which they aim to develop as for young people and families and accessible to all. Jacqueline Chester requesting safer pedestrian routes on the new Worsleys Road area. Innovating Streets teams, but all of them have presented to the community board and will present again to us at the next meeting. An 84-year-old requesting a new basketball court for local kids. Basketball is, as we all know, the coming thing. And Youth Achievement and Development Fund recipients coming back to the board to tell them what they did with our support in their adventures around New Zealand and overseas. Well, not so much overseas at the moment, actually. We have the Edible and Sustainable Garden Awards coming up, and we're hoping that there will be an involvement from schools. And we start our meetings with the Waiata, and this is the Waiata that we sing. We're getting better and better, actually. We were a disaster at the beginning, but we are getting better and better. And the involvement of the Māori language in our community board meetings is heartening to all of us. And today we have the Pacifica Fiesta, a Hunhei Fiesta, and the Pacifica Rugby League competition, Christchurch-wide, at Hunhei in Mathers Park, starting this afternoon at 3 o'clock.
Very good.
Last time I watched the New Guinea team absolutely being thrashed, massacred. Most of them were academics from Lincoln.
So that's the end of the presentation? Right, okay. Any questions? Melanie?
Did you want to mention?
Oh, I want to talk about Greg. One of our, just briefly, one of our very active members of the community was Greg Smith, who died in his sleep at the age of 44 last week. Oh. He had been active in every area of the community's life, but he was particularly an employee of what used to be called Addington Net, became TechMate, and later on he and Linda were setting up their own organisation. He was the nicest man. That's what we all said about him. He was the nicest man. And it was a bit of a heartbreak when going to his funeral with Melanie. But I have to say, I gained a jacket out of it because we had to leave from one meeting, dash into Farmers, grab a jacket and get to the funeral on time. Where I spoke on behalf of Melanie and I and the board about his contribution to our community.
Oh, thank you for doing that. Melanie?
It wasn't what I was going to bring up, but I'm glad you remembered. But the other thing that came up about him was that he had a PhD in chemistry, which we never knew. He was so humble. It was amazing.
And top scored.
Oh, at his school.
Every subject at Christchurch Boys High, he was the top.
Yeah. But the thing I was going to... Did you mention about the principals? Was that last time?
No, it was this time.
It might be quite useful to mention.
We had a meeting with our school principals. This is the first one we've held. We were copying Linwood in trying to establish this meeting. It was incredibly informative and a great exchange of views. And we had... and you learn again that the principal's preoccupation is not necessarily with the children, though of course it is. It's buildings, and traffic that sends them round the bend and is a greater part of their workload. But it was a very interesting meeting, and we'll be glad to keep that going. And thank you, Linwood, for the setting the example. And Pepanui. Yeah.
Thank you.
We should have.
Are there any other comments or questions?
Oh, yeah.
Tim and Melanie to move and second. I'll put that motion. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried. Thank you very much.
Thank you for getting it through in time, Leanne.
Thank you. Te Pātaka o Rā Kai Hautu. Thanks for